everyone. Welcome to the tutorials of Java. So here we are going to start with the factorial of a number. So first of all, let us understand that what does the factorial means. So basically the factorial is a mathematical function that multiplies a number by every natural number below 8 until we reaches 1. Suppose if we are trying to calculate the factorial of 2, right? So factorial of 2 will be something like 2 multiplied by 1 because each and every number will go until 1. It will not go to 0 because we know that when we will multiply any of the number with 0, the answer will be 0. So each of every number that we are trying to calculate the factorial, it will be going to reach till 1 and it will be in the multiplication form. Suppose we are taking the factorial of 3, so it will be 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, right? So 3 to the 6 and 6 1 ja 6, correct? And in the same way, it will be going for 4, 5, 6, or till any of the number. So we are trying to achieve it with one Java program. So let us understand that how it will be working. So the program is very easy and it is 100% working. So first of all, what we have done here, we have import java.util.asterisk. Because we know that import, it means we are importing the package from Java. So Java is our main package. Inside Java, we are having the sub package that is util. And in util, many of the functions are there, which we will be going to use in our program. And dot asterisk, instead of asterisk, we can also mention some another sub packages. But if we don't want to mention the sub packages, then we can simply write asterisk so that it can import all the packages from java.util, and whichever the package that you want to use, you can use. And if you don't want to use, you don't want to use, correct? So here we have created a class which is called facto. And again, we have one variable, correct? So the name of the variable that we have taken here is n. So we have written int n. Then we are creating a function which is called as void input. So void means it will be going to return nothing, and input is nothing, but it is simply the name of our function. After it, we have this line in which we have written scanner in is equals to new scanner system.in. So let us understand what does it actually means. So scanner is what? A scanner is a class which allow the user to enter any of the number, correct? Because in this program, we will be going to enter the number at runtime. Okay, so at the real time, we will be going to enter. So it is very mandatory to write scanner. And then in is nothing but in is the object that we have created for a scanner class is equals to new. New is a keyword which will be going to allocate the memory. Then again we have written a scanner system.in. System.in means the system that we are using. From this system only we will be taking the input. So in stand for input. Then we have written system.out.print enter one value. So we will be going to enter one value over here. It may be any number that we want to have the factorial of it. And obviously, when we will be going to enter that number, we need to store it in any of the variables, correct? And we remember that we have just initialized a variable called n here. So we have written n is equals to, n is equals to in dot next int, correct? So whatever the value that we will be entering at the runtime, it will be going to store in the variable n. And again, in is what? In is the variable, in is the object that we have created for the scanner class. Then dot next int so that it can take the value in the integer form. Because we know that when we are working with number, we must have to use the data type that is integer. So in this input function, we have just taken the input from the user that whatever the number that they will be entering, it will be simply going to store in the variable n. Now let's come to our main section, that is finding the factorial. So for finding the factorial, we have created another function which is called as fact. And inside the fact, we have created one more variable that is int I. So I is a variable of the integer type. And obviously, we will be going to use it for the loop. Secondly, we have initialized one more variable named with f, and we have initialized the value of f is equals to 1. And what is the reason? because we will be going to use this f for multiplying the numbers, correct? And in the starting point, we have seen that when we will multiply any of the number with 0, the answer will be obviously 0. So we have mentioned it clearly that we have to go till 1 only, correct? So we will be initializing f is equals to 1. And then we are having our for loop, which will be going to work. As we are already aware that we have to do the task in the repetition, right? So for repetition, it is very must that we have to use the loop only, because we are already familiar that loop makes our task simple. So it will be really easy for us and really easy for our loop also, for our program. So let us see this statement, that what we have written and how this statement will actually work. So first of all, we can see that we have written I is equals to 1, and we are having one condition, that is I is less than equal to n, correct? So we are able to see that the value of I is 1, and we will be going to check whether I is less than equal to n or not. So here n is what? N is the variable in which we will be going to enter the number, correct? So suppose we want to get the factorial of 3, correct? I want to get the factorial of 3. So at the runtime, I will be going to show you. Enter one value, so I am entering 3, correct? And 3 will be going to store in the n. So the value of n will be 3, correct? So here I can simply write, instead of n, I can write 3. So here the value of I is 1. We are going to check the condition whether the value of I, it means 1, is less than or equal to 3 or not. So as we are already able to see that it is true, the condition is true. So definitely it will be going to enter in our loop. And inside the loop, we have written f is equals to f multiplied by I. So we have already initialized the value of f, that is 1, correct? And one more reason is there for initializing the value of f is equals to 1, so that it can avoid any garbage value. So we have f is equals to, right? So f, it means whatever the value that we will be having. For default, we have just 1 here. So we have f is equals to f into I. So let us understand that how this thing will be working. So the value of I is 1 and the value of f is also 1. So it will be simply like 1 multiplied by 1. So 1 multiplied by 1, it will be definitely 1, right? And this value will be going to initialized to the f, because we know that the initialization occurs from right to left. So this value will be initialized to the f, and the value of f will be 1. Okay, one time of loop is completed. Now it's time for the increment, because we already know that how does the for loop work. Firstly, it will be going to have the initialization, and then it will be going to check the condition. If the condition is true, it will be going to simply enter in the loop, and after it, it will be going to have this section, which is increment. So here we have written I plus plus. So it will be simply going to increment the value of I with 1. So here the value of I is 1, but now it will be 2. Now we will be going to check the condition that 2 is less than equal to 3. Yeah, it is definitely. So again, it will be going to enter in our loop. Now again, instead of having this value of I, it will be having the value of I will be 2. So it will be something like 1 multiplied by 2. 1 multiplied by 2 will be 2, correct? And this 2 value will be going to initialize to the f, and the new value for f will be 2. New value for f will be 2. Okay. Again, this thing is done, and again it will be going for the increment. Now again, it will be going to do the increment by 1 in the value of I. So 2 plus 1 will be 3. So I'm just writing here 3. And again, it will be going to check the condition whether the 3 is less than equal to 3. So obviously we can see that 3 is not less than, but it is equal to 3, correct? So again, the condition is falling true. Now the updated value of I is 3. Okay. Now let's again modify the value of I, because f is already 1. F is already 2 here, right? So we can write something like 2 multiplied by I. It means the updated value of I is 3. So it will be 2 threes are. 2 threes are, it will be 6. Correct? Now the updated value for f will be 3 2 ja 6. Correct? Now again, it will be having the increment. Although we get the answer for the enter any value that we have entered 3, and obviously the factorial of 3 will be 6. But again, the loop will remain running for one time, because loop doesn't know that when to stop. It will definitely stop when the condition false, when the condition will become false. So again, it will be having the increment. The value of I will be 3 plus 1, that is 4. It will be checking the condition that 4 is less than equal to 3. No, 4 is not less than, not equal to 3, correct? So it will be, the condition will become false and the loop will stop here. And then we have written system.out.print factorial of plus n plus. Plus n plus we have written because we want whatever the number that we have entered at the time of entering the value for finding the factorial, it will be going to print over here. So we are finding the factorial for 3. So it will be showing something like factorial of 3 is, and obviously our value is present in the f variable. So in f, we are able to see the updated value of f is 6. So it will be going to show factorial of 3 is f. Now this is the process, and obviously we know that to run the Java program, we must have to create a main, right? Main function. So we have created over here public static void main, string args, that is arguments. And then the first thing that we must have to do is creating the object. So the syntax for creating the object is the name of the class, which we have taken is fact. Then name of the object that we have taken simply obj is equals to new. New is a keyword for allocating the memory. Then again, we have to take the constructor. Constructor in the sense, the same name that we have taken for the class with the function sign. Now we have to call our two functions that are responsible for running the program. So the two functions that we will be going to call is the input function, because firstly we will be going to take the input from the user, and then we will be going to call our second function, that is fact, so that it can do the operation related to factorial, finding the factorial. So we have simply written obj.input, and then we have written obj.fact. Don't forget to use the semicolon because it is very mandatory, so that it can show that the line has been terminated. Now our program is done. We can close all necessary curly braces. And now it's time for run the program. So let us see that how the output will look like. So first of all, it is showing us that enter one value. Suppose I'm showing or entering 5, correct? And we can see in the output arena that it is showing factorial of 5 is 120, correct? Because 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 it will be. So exactly the answer will be 120. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe our channel.